Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our author pep talk for today, June 30th. Can you guys believe it is July tomorrow? I cannot. I have no idea where time went. So, if you're new here, my name is Becca Brinkmeyer, and I am the coach of Team Planter for Novel 90. I am a full-time author and writing coach, instructor, and kind of wearer of many publishing hats. And today we are going to talk about something I think that is very apt for where we're at in our Novel 90 cycle. So, if you're part of Novel 90, you know that today is the last day of planning month. Tomorrow officially starts writing month, the second month of our 90-day cycle. So today's topic that we're going to talk about is called Done is Done. Stop planning and start writing. All right. So with the knowledge that writing month is just around the corner. How are we all feeling? Are we excited? Are we overwhelmed? Are we feeling, you know, like it's going to all be okay? Or are we concerned that maybe we've fallen behind? Whatever you're feeling, totally valid. Um, Writing a book in 90 days is an ambitious task. It's very doable, but it doesn't mean that it's not incredibly ambitious. So here we are at the end of planning month, about to move into writing. And I want to talk about something that I like to call the productive procrastination trap. And I call it this because I get caught in it all of the time. Now, as you know, we have three different writing styles that we support here at Novel 90. We have Team Planner, who is led by Coach Kat, and Team Planner loves a good outline. You love your outlines. You love planning over on Team Planner. Now, Team Planter, which is coached by me, we do like some structure. We like to have guardrails. We still like to leave room for some discovery writing, but there's there's some edges here that we put onto our projects, so we kind of have an idea of what's going on. Now, our other team is Team Pantser, and that's coached by Coach Catherine. Now, Pantsers are true discovery writers, so you may not have much of an outline at all. Instead, you might have an idea or a character or a world that you are going to be kind of jumping off from and starting your writing. Now, one of the biggest struggles that we see as we make the transition from planning to writing month is that people will say, I'm not done planning. How can I possibly be done planning? I don't know all of the things that are going to happen in this book. I don't have my full beat sheet done. What about this side character? I don't know what's going to happen with them. What about my world building? I built my magic system, but I don't know what all of the towns' names are going to be. I don't think I can start writing. I must continue planning. And depending on your writing style, that may be accurate. For planners, where you feel safest to write when you have all of the details worked out, writing without those details can feel very uncomfortable. For plantsers, where we generally don't have that level of detail completely worked out, if we're spending time focusing on that, I might question, are we avoiding writing for some reason? Is there something about actually doing the writing that is going to be a little bit difficult for us? Maybe we are getting lost in the details on purpose or subconsciously on purpose. And then for pantsers, I want to ask too, like, what are we working on? Are we trying to figure out some really intense details about one specific character, or are we going to just kind of take that vibe and go? So how do we know if you're really done and ready to write? Well, team planner, I think that you're ready if you have the major beats worked out. If you know the major beats of your story, you've got some world building notes, you know your characters, you have your tropes and themes. I think if you are a true planner, you're ready to go. There might be some more details you're going to have to figure out along the way, but you will have planned out your story. You'll have a beginning, a middle, and an end. You'll know your conflict, you'll know your characters, and you'll know your world. Team Plancer. How do we know if we're ready to stop planning and start writing? If we have a starting point, some details, and some characters, you're ready to go. You might require additional planning if you lean more towards the planning side, but generally speaking, if you've got enough of these details, you can probably start writing. Team Pantsers, if you have an idea that won't leave you alone, and perhaps a character or two, or a conflict, or a setting, you're ready to go. Go ahead and start writing. Planning is meant to be a compass. It is not meant to be a prison. Planning is meant to help you organize your thoughts. It is meant to help you get the initial vibe for your project. It's to help you work out the structure and the order, but it is not meant to be like some sort of iron fence all the way around your project that prevents you from doing anything else. It is a guiding document, not locking you in. Sometimes, even with the most meticulous planning, our stories decide to go a different direction. Oftentimes, with virtually no planning, our stories are going to take us on a little bit of a journey, and that's okay. One thing that you definitely need to know before you start writing is who your protagonist is. Who is this story about? Who is leading the charge? Your protagonist is the character that your reader is going to follow. This is essential. If you have your protagonist, that's a step in the right direction for being ready to write. You also need a catalyst. So this is the event that completely disrupts your protagonist's normal life. This is the incident that starts it all. Once you have your protagonist and your catalyst, you know that you're on the right path to being able to write. You also need a goal. Why are they doing this? Why does your protagonist care about the catalyst? What are they trying to achieve or accomplish? When you figure that out, then you are well on your way to being ready to write. So let's try an example. The first example is a Fey prince kidnaps a barista for a marriage scheme to get his kingdom back. Immediate yes, I already want to read it. I don't need to know anything else. How do I know if that idea is ready to write? If I am on Team Planner, I am going to have who my characters are, right? I'm going to have the main characters worked out. I'm going to know the beats the story will take. I will have notes about the world. I'm going to have notes about the motive, about why this marriage arrangement is in place and why this particular character is the chosen one, reluctantly at least. I'm going to have this neatly worked out. If there's magic, I'm going to know my magic system. If this is a fantasy story that is set in both our world and in the Fae realm, I'm going to have those details worked out. Now, if I'm a Plancer, I'm definitely still going to have my main characters worked out. I'm going to know who this Fae Prince is, and I'm definitely going to know who this barista is. I will have likely made notes about the conflict and the world building and the resolution. I've definitely planned for my tropes as well. We do a lot of planning for tropes and themes on Team Planter because this allows us to have a little bit more flexibility in how we are making these themes and tropes work. Next, for pantsers, if I had this idea, I know that this idea is not going to leave me alone. I probably have a notebook full of some ideas or details about parts of the story that I can't stop thinking about. And maybe I know that Jane the barista is definitely going to fit the character arc of the reluctant chosen one, but I might not have a lot of the other details. I just have really strong fixation and ideas on where I want this starting point to go, or perhaps I might have a full scene playing in my head like a movie. But I'm going to allow the story to tell itself. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to kind of discover that story as it comes. That is how we know that this idea is ready to go. Remember, you can always plan more. I can't stop you. You can always add more, but at some point, we do have to write. We have to let the story out. And we have to remember that done with our first draft is the goal. Now, I want you all to take a deep breath. I want you to get yourself ready for writing month to start. I know Team Panther, you've already started, but I want you to get ready emotionally for the official start of writing month. I want you to remember that your story is ready, or maybe it's close to it, and you are capable of telling it. The world needs what you have to offer. So go forth and write it. We're going to get that first draft done, and we're going to see this story come to life. The fruits of your planning labor are coming to bloom. And with that, I'm going to release you back to the rest of your planning month, whatever there is left of it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Please come back on Tuesdays for our Pep Talk series. And for all members of Novel 90, check the calendar. We've just added a bunch of new sprints that you can join and you can get those words in. So thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day.